You had quite the performance last time. Have you seen a rise in popularity since your last fight?
Yeah, to a certain degree, like people on social media and stuff like that. Like, yeah, so my Instagram fan went up a little bit more. I think I broke 10,000.
Congratulations, that's always nice. How was preparing for this fight? You guys were scheduled before, then you fought someone else. So what was it like to circle all the way back to Ottman again?
I actually asked for this fight. Right after my last fight, my manager asked me who I wanted. I said I wanted this fight simply because we prepared for so long for the April card because I found out about I was gonna be fighting him in April and January. So I prepared for it. I just wanted to just finish it. I hate like doing stuff and not really getting a result, whether I did good or I did bad. I want to see how it happened. So I really wanted to like put the finishing touches on this one.
The last time we spoke with you, you said that you were looking to have those Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald type of fights. Does Ottman, is he the kind of dance partner you need to make one of those fights happen, in your opinion?
On paper, he seems like he is. He's has a what 90% finish rate. He has 9 knockouts, 2 submissions. I have 9 knockouts, 3 submissions. I mean, so he's like it seems like we match up pretty well. So I think he's gonna come there. From what I see, he comes to fight, and I think that's a fun fight for the fans and stuff. Win or lose, I'm definitely looking to win, but win or lose, I think it'll just keep pushing me to the top.
For yourself, what would you most like to show in this fight?
Same shit I always show, man. A class violence. Can I curse? No. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm with it. Hey, good luck, Kama. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take the next questions from Gavin Porter with UFC.com.
All right, man. So it's your second fight during this pandemic era, if you will. And what did you kind of take away from the first experience of fighting in the Apex and everything versus your debut, which was obviously a much different circumstance?
Yeah. I guess it's weird with the whole no fan thing is kind of weird. Like being able to hear everything, including the punches and the breathe. Being able to hear your opponent's breathing is weird because you normally only get that when you're training with your partners or like you're training at a gym because there's so much noise going on in fights you can't really hear. But that was the biggest thing for me is hearing their heartbeats, hearing their breathing, hearing when they're picking their breathing up and stuff like that. But I don't really try to like really like figure out the pattern for the fights too much because everything's different. So I'm expecting a whole different experience this time around. Like, so it's always gonna be a little bit different for every fight.
And after your last fight, you said, hey, I'm the real deal. Like, I think I'm proving that every time I get in there. And now you're fighting a guy who's undefeated, who's coming off of an awesome knockout himself. So, what kind of statement would it make for you to be able to finish a guy with a zero next to his name that has this type of hype?
I mean, I think it'll just keep building on the type of fighter I am and the type of opponents that I like to fight and the excitement that rises with me and stuff. So I mean, like I want to be in good fights, plain and simple. I want fun fights. I mean, I'm okay taking the risk of losing for the rewards I'll get from getting good fights.
Do you ever look back at that debut and that good fight you had with your good friend, obviously? But it's been a full year, and your life is completely different in a way, right?
Yeah, I mean, like it's weird because really, like it's not just my life; the entire world is completely different. Like everything, how we approach fights and everything, it's all completely different. So like, the year anniversary just happened. It seems like it was forever ago because so much stuff has happened. Like my daughter, as like she was 1 at the time, so she's like kind of grown up and like she's become a little personality. So she's almost 2 now. So she's grabbing stuff and doing her own thing. Like my gym, I mean, like we've gone through my gym being closed down to being reopened and that. Like my friends have gotten fights. So much stuff has changed up, and it's like coming full circle again. And it's a long year, long year for the world.
But when you look back on it, was there a specific moment where you're like, wow, this is real? Like,
Yeah, I mean, like that entire weekend was cerebral. That just in itself, just because the way that things happen and stuff. I mean, I still think about when I got the call from my manager house and how I thought about saying no because I did not feel like cutting 19 pounds in 4 days. That was not something I wanted to do. But I mean, like just that whole experience, just everything, how it happened, how it came to play, and just how everything kind of like just like swung its way and happened that way. It's different.
Things continue to happen for you. In fact, you're the co-main event in this weekend's fight card. So the come up has been real in a year.
Yeah.
So when you realize you're about to be the co-main event of a UFC card, and a year ago plus some change, you weren't even in the UFC. So when you think of that, well, what does that initially bring in reaction?
It's crazy. I mean, like again, like I've always been the type of person that thinks that like trying to have too many patterns for things can be a problem. My older brother Akeem, he taught me that. Like sometimes you have to sit back and let things like kind of go into play. And like my UFC career has never been more unpredictable as you can see. I mean, like it goes from a fight on 4-day notice to having a fight and then switch up opponents, and that fight getting canceled, then taking the fight, but lose Pino in 3.5 weeks, and now this fight, I get the fight that I had before, and then it's like, oh, it's a regular fight. No, it's a co-main event. It's like, oh shit, this is stuff just keeps adding on. So for me, it's just understanding that no matter what happens, whether I was the first fight on the prelims or if I was going to be the main event, I just need 18 minutes of pure focus, and it's the same thought process.